Honourable members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honour and deep appreciation that I welcome to this esteemed House the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, and his distinguished delegation. Prime Minister, your presence here today is not only a mark of the warm and enduring friendship between Papua New Guinea and New Zealand, but also a testament to the strength of our shared values of democracy, respect for the rule of law, mutual cooperation, and the pursuit of peace and prosperity for our people. This Parliament, as the heart of our democracy, is privileged to host you. We welcome your words, your insights, and your vision, especially as our region navigates complex challenges and opportunities. The Pacific family has always drawn strength from mutual respect and genuine partnerships, and New Zealand has long been a valued friend and partner in our development journey. Over the years, our two nations have collaborated across many fronts, from education, health, and infrastructure to climate resilience, defense cooperation, and people-to-people ties. These are the bonds that have grown, and not only through formal agreements, but through shared experiences, shared aspirations, and shared Pacific identity. Today, as you address our Parliament as the second leader to do so, and the first from New Zealand, we look forward to deepening our dialogue and further enriching the partnership between our nations. Prime Minister, on behalf of all members of this House and the people of Papua New Guinea, many of whom are tuning in via radio, television, and online platforms, I extend to you a most heartfelt welcome. May our words today serve to further strengthen the enduring goodwill between our nations and contribute meaningfully to a more united and prosperous Pacific region. Welcome and thank you. I now invite the Prime Minister of New Zealand to address this Parliament.
The Honourable Joe Pamas, Speaker of the Papua New Guinea National Parliament, the Honourable James Marape, Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, the Honourable Douglas Tomorisa, the Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Members, distinguished guests, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, and the people of Papua New Guinea. Tēnā koutou, good pla morning trua lageta, good morning to you all. I want to begin by acknowledging the Motukoita people of the Port Moresby area as the traditional custodians of the land on which we are gathered here today. Daba na moana. I also wish to open by expressing my best wishes to all of Papua New Guinea on your upcoming 50th anniversary of independence, and on behalf of New Zealand and of all New Zealanders, please accept my sincerest congratulations ahead of your Golden Jubilee. Mr. Speaker, it is a deep honour for me to address this incredible Parliament today. I am extremely conscious of the rare privilege that you have granted me as the first Prime Minister of New Zealand invited to speak in this esteemed chamber, and through all of you, honourable members, with the people of Papua New Guinea whom you represent. Because this building is more than a seat of government, it is a house where the spirit of Papua New Guinea finds its collective voice. Voices of your tribes and towns, of your islands and highlands, of your elders and of your youth, and of your men and women. They are voices that help navigate your national journey between tradition and transformation. And today I am humbled to bring another voice, and I hope a spirit from your Pacific kith and kin, New Zealand, your friend. Mr. Speaker, it is clear to me that Papua New Guinea is an ambitious nation, and so you should be. You are a nation whose spirit rises with the mist over the highlands, whose determination flows with the mighty Sepik and Fly rivers, and whose potential is as high as Mount Wilhelm. You are a nation rich not only in natural beauty and resources, but in the resilience and the creativity and spirit of your people. I know this venerable house is where you as the nation's elected leaders are entrusted with the ambitions, the aspirations, the dreams of your people for a brighter future.
But your country is not only ambitious, it is courageous. Papua New Guinea is not for the faint-hearted. Your mountains are precipitous, your coastlines are wild, your cultures and languages legendarily diverse. Yet you are charting your own course, embracing democracy, celebrating diversity, and pursuing development and peace in a uniquely human and Papua New Guinean way. Honourable members, your courage means Papua New Guinea has never shied away from acknowledging the development challenges you face or questioning choices made or paths taken. These are good questions that any country should ask. Neither of our nations should settle for the status quo or cease to strive for a better future for our people. But it is worth acknowledging that over the past 50 years, you have forged a land of 1,000 tribes into one nation, one people, one country, through a shared commitment to democracy, the importance of community, and the belief that diversity comes from strength. These are values that New Zealand also shares. Mr. Speaker, 50 years ago, New Zealand's then Minister of Māori Affairs, the Honourable Matthew Rata, travelled to Papua New Guinea to represent the New Zealand government at the independence ceremonies in Port Moresby. And he carried with him a message from Prime Minister Rowling conveying best wishes and a solemn promise that Papua New Guinea can count at all times on the affection, support and good wishes of New Zealand. Even in 1975, it was clear that a prosperous and peaceful Papua New Guinea mattered to New Zealand. There are several reasons why. Your country is blessed with tremendous mineral wealth, vast agricultural potential, and a youthful, dynamic population. Your economic trajectory holds enormous promise for your own people, for our Pacific region, and for New Zealand. Our businesses are already working together with Kiwi firms actively enabling your agricultural development, enhancing the efficiency of your resources sector, and delivering some of your most celebrated and important landmarks, including Gordon's Market, the Kumul Flyover, bridge to Jackson's Airport, and this very Parliament. Regionally, Papua New Guinea accounts for over 3/4 of the Pacific Islands landmass and almost 2/3 of its people. But your size means where you go, the Pacific goes. Where you succeed, the Pacific succeeds. Your strategic position connecting the Pacific to Asia puts you at the very heart of the Indo-Pacific, playing a critical role for trade routes and presenting opportunities to renew and deepen ancient ties, whether it be through your successful hosting of APEC in 2018 or your convening power for major engagements that connect the Pacific to the wider world. But that same geographic position also means that in times of turbulence, including both world wars and at no small cost, Papua New Guinea has acted as a barrier between conflict in the world and the rest of the region. Your country, as you have pointed out, Prime Minister, is both a buffer and a bridge between Asia and the Pacific. It therefore almost goes without saying, honourable members, that Papua New Guinea matters to New Zealand and it matters to the Pacific. And the government that I lead is committed to strengthening our friendship and our partnership and our joint endeavours with you. Mr. Speaker, my visit is timed to celebrate 50 years of formal diplomatic relations between our two great countries. But our ties go back much further than this. For generations, our people have shared stories and trade and traditions. Millennia ago, explorers voyaged through your waters. Some remained amid the bounty of your islands. Others continued on, and eventually, some 800 years ago, the ancestors of New Zealand Māori reached the much colder but no less bountiful islands that we call home in New Zealand. This shared heritage is the backbone of our relationship. We share ancient stories that link us across our beautiful but vast Pacific. Our peoples later reconnected with New Zealand missionaries coming to Papua New Guinea in the late 19th and early 20th centuries to share their faith, a bond important to our peoples today. We later fought alongside one another during the Second World War, where the 3rd New Zealand Division played an active role in defending Papua New Guinea. Our largest amphibious operation during the war took place in this country, with New Zealand troops part of the effort to retake Torokina and Nissen Island, and the 4 New Zealand Air Force squadrons subsequently involved in the campaign to retake the critical air base at Rabaul. Our peoples fought and they died together in those challenging times. And today, New Zealand soldiers lie on Papua New Guinean soil in the hallowed cemeteries at Bomana, Lae and Bitapaka. But those New Zealanders who returned spoke very strongly and very warmly of the welcome that they received by Papua New Guineans and the friendships that they developed. Of course, the post-war period saw those friendships increase further, with New Zealand teachers and nurses and builders and engineers all coming to Papua New Guinea to support a new nation as you headed towards independence. And since then, our peoples have continued to actively support each other's communities. No fewer than 7 New Zealand Prime Ministers have visited Papua New Guinea since independence, and I am greatly honoured to be the 8th. The High Commissioner from New Zealand tells me that whenever he travels in Papua New Guinea, he finds New Zealanders everywhere, whether teaching in local schools, running small businesses, or supporting the work of NGOs. Some have been here for decades, quietly contributing to their communities and helping to foster the ties between our nations. New Zealand volunteers have been active here since independence, contributing to fields ranging from nursing to agricultural science and from fisheries to high school counselling. None have left unaffected by the warmth and the love that they encountered here. You have a great many advocates back home in New Zealand. And I have to say the Papua New Guinea community in New Zealand is a vibrant one. It includes university lecturers and livestock consultants and small business owners and teachers. There are Papua New Guinean engineers helping deliver major new highways and owner-operator plasterers contributing to housing. These are Wontoks making our country better. Prime Minister Marape, the honour of being invited to address this House has caused me to consider what is New Zealand to Papua New Guinea. And of course we are long-standing friends and partners. That is a given. But I want to reflect on New Zealand's past, present and future contributions to Papua New Guinea. I have heard you share your thoughts on this, Prime Minister. I know you find value in New Zealand's experience in the public sector, on state-owned enterprises, on private sector development and in trade agriculture. I believe there are also experiences relevant to your many tribes in Indigenous business and the success of iwi development models in New Zealand. There are many examples of our partnership supporting Papua New Guinea's development, ranging from New Zealand's support to develop your Fresh Produce Development Agency in the 1980s, through to our work together to improve the ease of doing business, critical for unlocking economic growth potential. Our work as part of the Papua New Guinea Electrification Partnership has connected over 10,000 households to the electricity grid. And since independence, our scholarship program has provided over 600 tertiary scholarships, plus numerous short-term training and capacity building opportunities. But there is more that we can do, working together as partners to contribute to Papua New Guinea's development aspirations. I spoke last night of the strength of our defence and our security cooperation, with many of your officers having learned the art of leadership in the legendary freezing temperatures of the Waiouru military camp into the central North Island. We have a shared ambition to do a lot more together in that space. We remain honoured to have played a facilitative role in helping Bougainvilleans find an initial truce amongst themselves and then with Papua New Guinea. And we continue to walk alongside both governments as you jointly seek a mutually agreed way forward, including through our recent hosting of consultations at Burnham Military Camp. And on the shared global challenge of climate change, we are together raising our voices in world forums where the urgency of the Pacific's experience must drive action. Prime Minister, while there are differences between our countries, there are many parallels as well as similarities in geography, in culture and scale. Perhaps it is in fact the exchange of ideas and ways of doing things between two friends that should be the most important item on our shared future agenda. And I look forward to discussing the opportunities to strengthen this further when we meet later today. Mr. Speaker, honourable members, as Pacific countries, both New Zealand and Papua New Guinea have a vested interest in ensuring the security and the prosperity of our region. Prime Minister Kirk was an active proponent for Papua New Guinea's membership of the then South Pacific Forum in the early 1970s, with Sir Michael Somare present at the very creation. In fact, it wouldn't mind betting that the Grand Chief then went on to become probably the leader who attended the most forums leaders at meetings of any of us. Today, Papua New Guinea plays a critical leadership role in our regional architecture. And I know that you, Prime Minister, are especially interested in what more we can do together in this space. My view is that at a time of sharpening geostrategic tensions where others' actions and priorities may see division among our Pacific family, it is more important than ever that we work together with fellow Pacific Islands Forum members. When talking about our two countries' relationship with the Pacific, however, it would be remiss of me, of course, not to mention Australia, an indispensable partner to both our nations, and who as a fellow Pacific country engages at significant scale here and throughout the region in support of Pacific priorities. There is more that the three of us can do together and in concert with other Pacific countries to ensure continued peace and prosperity and to deliver on our collective ambitions under the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent. Honourable members, as we celebrate Papua New Guinea's 50th anniversary and the 50 years of partnership between our two countries, I want to close by reflecting on the prospects of our future engagement. I am heartened by this trusted friendship that we have built, but am also ambitious for our relationship. I am convinced that the best is yet to come, both for Papua New Guinea and for our partnership. Our political engagement is strong, and we should continue to expand our partnership at the ministerial level and to better link our institutions. Your success in holding an unbroken record of democracy since independence and keeping your peace and stability matters greatly to us and to the wider region. But there is more that we can do together to support this. Our trade has been growing, but there's scope for us to do so much more in both directions, including by fully integrating PNG into our regional trading arrangements. We can do more to leverage the connections between our peoples. We are making it easier for Papua New Guineans to visit New Zealand, and I certainly hope more New Zealanders will come and visit the natural and incredible cultural wonders of Papua New Guinea and experience everything that you have to offer as well. Separately, labour mobility is already an area of growth, but one where we should not rest on our laurels. And we can do more to grow our sporting ties, whether it is in league or union or soccer or cricket or netball, as well as our shared cultural connections. And we should give further thought to how we can work more closely together on regional and global issues. At a time of turbulence, it is up to us to create and defend the region that we want and to influence the world that we want to live in. Mr. Speaker, even in 1975, Prime Minister Rowling spoke of Papua New Guinea as a land with which New Zealand has forged close and lasting ties. 50 years ago, we were already close. I hope that in 50 years' time, when my successor comes for your centennial celebrations, he or she will be able to look back on our partnership that has continued to go beyond a handshake and has seen us continue to invest in each other's success. Ultimately, the strength of our partnership lies not only in governments, it lies in people. And it is strengthened as friendships are forged and as challenges are identified and faced down together. New Zealand is committed to work one team, and we will continue good on our shared belief that by working together, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea can create a bright and bold future for ourselves, and we can be an example to the world. Thank you to Masol Geta, Lukam you behind, no re rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you very much.
I now invite Prime Minister Marape to make a response.
Mr. Speaker, honourable members of Parliament, today we stand in a moment that will be etched into our national memory, a moment that reaffirms who we are as a country and what we stand for and who stands with us. It is my deep honor and privilege to embrace, accept, welcome, and thank to the People's House, my good friend, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, the Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, and your esteemed delegation. Papua New Guinea, thank you for honouring our nation and your presence for affirming the enduring relationship and friendship between our two people. This is only the second time in our nation's history that a world leader has addressed our parliament. A powerful symbol of the strategic importance New Zealand has with our country and Australia continues to have with our country. For New Zealand, it is a powerful symbol of strategic importance, mutual respect, and the good and long-standing relationship and bond between our two governments and our two countries, but more importantly, our two people. Mr. Speaker, New Zealand is not just a Pacific neighbor across the Pacific. You are a true partner, a friend of integrity who stood with us when our nation was born in 1975. You have walked with us every step of the way, and the 5 decades of independence we've had as a country, you have been a strong, reliable partner. Surely, as your Prime Minister then, Prime Minister Rawling, promised, none of his promise was broken. Every promise was upheld. You helped build our civil services. You helped educate our children. You delivered and contribute to our rural villages, whether in health or any other development aspirations. You did extend a big hand of peace during one of our darkest hours, or some of our darkest hours, the Bougainville crisis. That history of principal partnership is the foundation upon which we are ready to build our next chapter. Prime Minister Lakson, your visit comes at a pivotal point, not just in our nation's history, but in our two nations' bilateral relationship and our history. A moment where we both take reflection, but also make resolutions as to how we progress from here on. 50 years into our nation's independence, and amidst our fragilities, we remain a robust democracy. We remain a robust free market economy. We remain a people together in our diversity. We no longer a fledgling nation finding her feet. We are a people rising, determined to transform our economy, unify our diverse tribes, and empower our young citizens through agriculture, education, infrastructure, and more importantly, in the digital world, the involvement in digital innovation. We have declared that the next 50 years will be defined not by what we receive, but what we build with our hands, our hearts, and our God-given potentials. And in this mission, we are encouraged that we are not walking alone. Mr. Speaker, earlier this year, I had the privilege of undertaking a state visit to Aotearoa, New Zealand. It was more than a diplomatic formality. It was a renewal of vows between our two nations who believe in peace, people, and purpose. Together, we launched the Papua New Guinea New Zealand Statement of Partnership 2025 to 2029, a bold framework grounded in strong political and regional collaboration, deeper economic engagement and responsible investment, greater opportunities for education and labor mobility, joint commitment to peace and security, especially in our Pacific, including our Bougainville, and shared stewardship of climate action and environmental resilience. In New Zealand, I had the pleasure of witnessing the wisdom of Maori leadership, the innovation of your enterprises, and the warm embrace of your people. We invited your business to invest in Papua New Guinea transformation, especially in agriculture, energy, infrastructure, and institutional reform. We laid the foundation to grow our labor mobility partnerships, aiming to lift our current 2,000 workers under the recognized seasonal employer scheme to more than 10,000, with pathways for skilled and permanent employment. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform you I was pleasantly blessed in the side of the Parliament to see a young Papuan family walking to me. He was a former University of Technology student in employment in New Zealand, and there's a growing diaspora of Papua New Guineans not working as imported seasonal workforce, but in skilled areas, finding their own feet. Some, as Prime Minister Lakson said, businessmen doing business in New Zealand. All work in different spaces of New Zealand. New Zealand has become a good hub of Papua New Guinea diaspora. And I want to thank you, Prime Minister Lakson, for the warm hospitality New Zealand has always rendered to Papua New Guineans. Our goal is not just to offer jobs, but future. For the 6 million young Papua New Guineans we right now have under the age of 25, we want them to find a place in PNG and the world around us. And we thank New Zealand for offering that opportunity for some of our children to find home and work and meaningful pursuit in New Zealand. I want to thank and register at this juncture New Zealand government's opening of visa, ease of visa requirements for Papua New Guineans to move into New Zealand. We celebrated also when I was there. I was privileged to go to Wellington Phoenix Football Academy. We watched this sporting event there, and I saw how sport can also transform communities, anchor communities, embrace communities. We also acknowledge that you have been a tremendous help and support in the health and education sector in our country, from the Red Hallows Foundation, building an eye center in Port Moresby, right now to the tireless work of your help to World Vision and other NGOs like the ADRA in our most remote provinces. And we rejoice in the resilience of, again, our diaspora who are working, who are studying. And I have here in this parliament, Mr. Prime Minister, there's some former New Zealand students who are also members of parliament. One of them, notably someone close to me, Governor of Southern Highlands, the Honourable William Powie. Mr. Speaker, I want to place on record in this parliament and register our greatest support for one of the biggest help to us and hand to us in as far as the Bougainville is concerned. New Zealand has been front, back, and centerpiece in our talk and walk for peace on Bougainville. We reiterate our unwavering commitment to peaceful dialogue, mutual respect, and constitutional path forward as we seek to register and solve our Bougainville issue. I thank the government of New Zealand past and government today, not only for your support of past during the Bougainville crisis, but for your continued support and leadership at present, especially in our last meeting at Bantam, the spiritual birthplace of peace for Bougainville. I want to appreciate the joint moderation consultation that was concluded at Bantam and the forging of the Melanesian Agreement under the guide and words of one of New Zealand's esteemed son, the Honourable Sir Jerry Matapora. He was instrumental, just like many New Zealanders before him. And I want to say in this parliament, we appreciate the work Sir Jerry has done in this space. We look forward to continued work for peace in Bougainville. And I want to say the pronounced blessing of Matthew 5, verse 9 to New Zealanders who've had a hand in our peace process. Matthew 5, verse 9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." New Zealand just do not practice peace, but it practices it. And we are better off because of New Zealand's role in peace, in not just Papua New Guinea, but peace in a region and peace as you work for peace in the global stage that we both share. Mr. Speaker, our region, the Blue Pacific, is no longer a quiet backwater areas in as far as world affairs is concerned. We're now at the center of global attention, competition, and consequences. In this changing world, our unity as Pacific nation must not waver. In this regard, New Zealand is more than an ally, you're a campus, bringing trust, humility, and moral clarity. You lead not through might, but through right, the right of our existence in our Pacific. And that is the leadership Pacific respects. Today, I reaffirm Papua New Guinea's commitment to stand with New Zealand, to protect our oceans, uphold democratic values, strengthen climate resilience, encourage free and fair trade within and abroad, and ensure that no child of the Pacific is left behind, whether scorched by climate change disasters or poverty, etc. Papua New Guinea stands with New Zealand to protect, shield, and work for our Blue Pacific continent. something that I've been part of the construct since 2019 in our PIF engagements. In our bilateral discussions today, Mr. Prime Minister, we will advance key priorities. This includes expanding trade and investment ties between our two nations for inclusive growth. In a world of many trade barriers, I think fair trade is important between both nations. You have things that you produce that I don't produce. I have things that Papua New Guinea produce that you don't have. In an element, an envelope of fair trade, we can both find security, the exchanges between our two nations. We can broaden labor mobility for prosperity and dignity. If you need more laborers, whether casual and basic labor to skilled Papua New Guineans, we can uplift the standard of education training to a level where you accept our trained Papua New Guineans to work in your country if you need them. I have labor in abundance in Papua New Guinea. We can deepen cooperation in climate action and renewable energy. We can invest in youth skills and vocational training, as I alluded to earlier. Or, of course, enhancing security and disaster resilience for the benefit of our two nations and our Pacific. Mr. Speaker, let it be said, and the partnership between Papua New Guinea and New Zealand is not built on aid, but it is rather built on mutual respect. Two nations coexisting side by side, as our ancestors have been. Our ancestors have been in this part of the world for many, many generations. Mr. Speaker, I pointed to Prime Minister Lakson last night. The Lapita poetry has found its roots in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea's Lapita is similar poetry, similar to those found in Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Cook Island, Niue, and New Zealand. There's almost 3,500 years. This is our shared history together in this part of the world. We will be living here forever until Jesus comes. Our children will be living here. It is our shared responsibility to carve out a better future for our two children and our children of the Pacific. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this is not just a transactional relationship. It must be fueled by transformation for our two nations and our region that we live in. It is not just a line item on a budget, but this must be etched in our hearts. The heart of two governments, the heart of two countries, more importantly, the heart of our two people. In Tok Pisin, we say, you know man nothing, means you're not just an ordinary man. You man, blow family, blow mipla, you're part of our Pacific family. Prime Minister Lakson, New Zealand are our family. And on behalf of this parliament, on both sides, and the opposition leader will also have the honor of addressing this parliament. But on behalf of this parliament and on behalf of my government, and of course all the people of our country, I want to extend a warmest thank you to you and your family, to your government, to your parliament, and also to your people. Please convey our regards from the highest peak in our country to all the islands, over 600 islands of this country. We wish New Zealand continued success, and we want to say we are your brothers and sisters here. We will remain a buffer from the east to the west, from the north to the south in our part of the world. We remain a buffer as we have been in the past, and we will be into the future. For every work in partnership with Papua New Guinea is a construct for security, safety, and ambience of good life, not just for PNG, but for all of us. As the good book reminds us, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9, two are better than one, because they have a good return for the labor. May God bless the people of New Zealand and New Zealand. May God bless Papua New Guinea. May God bless our shared Blue Pacific. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I invite the opposition leader to make a speech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Honourable Christopher Luxon, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, and your delegate who are here in our country, we say thank you for visiting our land. Mr. Speaker, New Zealand has enjoyed a democracy that is more than 200 years old. A very strong and vibrant democracy. I had the opportunity to visit New Zealand in 2013. And seeing from and listening from the governments and the people of New Zealand, you have come a long way. Our nation will turn 50 in a few weeks' time. Our struggles, Mr. Speaker, are real, but manageable by God's grace. Our land, like the Prime Minister has mentioned, our land of more than 800 languages and more than 1,000 tribes who have lived in unity for all these years, have worked together and survived the struggles in this nation. Like you in New Zealand, the Rangatiras, the Maori chiefs, have worked very closely with successive governments since 1840. And so when you look at New Zealand's democracy, you go a long, long way back. But that does not mean that the people of Papua New Guinea haven't governed themselves. Like New Zealand, you have the Rangatira or the Maori chiefs. We in Papua New Guinea have our chiefs as well. From the society where I come from, we are ruled by the Tabalus for thousands of years. Other societies in the New Guinea Islands, in the Momasa regions, in the Papua region, and in the Highlands region likewise, have been ruled by leaders, traditional cultural leaders. From the islands of our coastal provinces and its communities and people, to the valleys and the mountains of the highlands communities, we say kia ora. We can learn from your strong, vibrant democracy to strengthen ours and continue to govern our people with that strength, vibrancy, and resilience in our democracy. A few months ago, I had a privilege of meeting the Indigenous Affairs Minister of New Zealand, who visited our shores. Today, I would like to thank you, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, through our Speaker, for recognizing the traditional landowners of this land, who have given their land and their resources so that we can have our nation's capital built here in Port Moresby. And the central people as well, but more so your recognition of the people of Papua New Guinea. We look forward to a more close and meaningful working relationship with the government of New Zealand and the people of New Zealand. Thank you to the governments of New Zealand of the past and present. And thank you to the people of New Zealand for standing with us since independence in 1975 and continue to do so in our growth as a nation. Your support in agriculture, health, education, infrastructure, and also in sports, and many more in governance is well recognized, taken note of, and for that purpose, for that reason, we say thank you. Mr. Prime Minister, through you, Mr. Speaker, pass our greetings and gratitude to the government of New Zealand and to your people. Thank you. We wish you, and we say this, may God bless New Zealand and may God bless Papua New Guinea in this relationship that we have in the past 50 years and more. We wish you well as you travel back to your nation, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Honourable members, the Prime Minister of New Zealand will now retire. Safe. Petitions, notices, asking me no talk sabe belongan for 5 minutes, honorable member belong suave.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. My question without notice goes to the Minister for International Trade and Investment, the Honourable Richard Maru. Mr. Speaker, with the litany of issues that the country continues to grapple with, especially law and order, this government has been globetrotting and jet-setting at every turn. Now, on August the 31st, Mr. Speaker, the good minister has announced that he will be hosting a SEZ summit in Papua New Guinea. Recently, he has just returned from another summit in Osaka, where they have been on an expo for trade and investment. In 2023, Mr. Speaker, this minister and his department received 77 million kina in SEZ funding. In 2024, he received 150 million kina in SEZ funding. In 2025, the amount is undisclosed. Where has this 227 million kina gone? Because in Karamui, we haven't seen anything in respect to SEZ. So, Mr. Speaker, my question is, how much did this expo recently in Osaka cost the taxpayers of Papua New Guinea? And what are the benefits that we anticipate from all this globetrotting and jet-setting by this minister and his Prime Minister? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister of Trade and Investment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the member for for a very important question. Firstly, in relation to funding for AZZs, last year the AZZ Authority received 10 million in funding, and this year the budget only provided for 10 million, and the bulk of it is yet to be dispersed. So I don't know where you plug those figures from. That's what's been given to the AZZ Authority. But if you're talking about state equity, then that's something very different.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order. Honourable Member of Suave, one point of order, please.
Mr. Speaker, the figures have been obtained from the national budgets. Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me clarify that. I think he is making reference to state equity funding, which is not AZZ funding. These are for state investments. So I just want to correct that. Specifically for AZZ, the AZZ authority got budget provision for 10 million last year and 10 million this year. So I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, let's get to the issue of attending expos and the funding that we put to invest in expos. I'll comment on the previous expo in Dubai, and then I'll come to the Osaka expo, which is going on and which will conclude in October. In the Osaka expo, the government of Papua New Guinea, when I was not a minister, spent 5 million to attend the expo. At the conclusion of the expo, after 6 months, 29 companies from UAE registered their interest to come and invest in Papua New Guinea. All because of our attendance and the investment of 5 million at the expo. And the request to our government was, the UAE government wanted an agreement to be signed by our two countries called the Investment Promotion and Protection Agreement to provide assurance to the UAE investors that if they invest in Papua New Guinea, their investments will be saved. And there is no reason for them not to come. We have a similar agreement with countries like Australia and New Zealand. Despite the interest, our agencies responsible were not able to get the IPPA agreement signed, and hence they've delayed companies from UAE to come into Papua New Guinea to venture into investments in PNG. After Osaka, I went to Abu Dhabi the previous week, apologized to their government for the delay and assured them that within 2 weeks we will have the agreement ready for sign-off. And we are having the first draft sent over to the UAE by Friday, final draft. And I want to assure this Parliament, in my time, we are going to get this agreement signed and unlock the investment potential of UAE into this country. It is interesting at the back of these discussions, the national gas company, oil and gas company, ADNOC, has now expressed the interest to buy out Santos at a cost of 18 billion Australian dollars. Santos operates in both Papua New Guinea and Australia. This will be a very significant investment if this purchase goes through. But it is subject to agreements by both the South Australian government and the PNG government. We are assessing that, and it can only be done if it's in our national interest in law. So the first comment I want to make in relation to the value of investing in Expo, if we had done our job through our public servants, we would have already had investments here from that country. And we're going to get it done now. On top of the IPPA agreement, UAE government has been negotiating with our government through the Transport Ministry and Department. They wanted us to sign an air service agreement so that the Emirates can fly into Port Moresby all the way from UAE, Singapore, Port Moresby. We have been delaying that for another 2 years. And I'm trying to get that concluded so we can start getting Emirates flights coming in. Create competition, reduce the airfares. These are the results of going to invest 5 million in the expo in Dubai. When I was there last week, they've now agreed to enter into a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with PNG. We received the first draft proposed by them yesterday. If we do that, we will be able to have duty-free access in terms of the market into the UAE. They are now proposing under this agreement to offer scholarships to PNG students to study in their universities. They're looking at employment quotas for skilled Papua New Guineans to work in UAE, like they're doing with Fiji and other Pacific Island countries. They're even looking at giving us aid for our national ID system. Me not talk about 300 million in me buy some Chinese technology. I'm talking about free money, aid. So this is the benefit of investing a small 5 million by going to Dubai for the expo. The employment opportunities, Emirates coming into PNG, scholarships coming, grant aid coming. So when you're talking about cost and benefits, we are going to receive so much more than investing 5 million in attending the expo. Now let's switch over to Japan. The cabinet made a bold decision for us to participate in Japan at the expo. Firstly, to recognize Japan, to show us their support because it's their expo year. It'll only happen, they will only host the expo in our lifetime once. Japan is our second biggest aid donor. Papua New Guinea understand, since independence, they are a founding bilateral partner. They've invested 6 billion in grant aid to this country. 6 billion. Only next to Australia. By Eagle Expo, you have investing 5 million. When we were there, they announced 92 million grant aid to upgrade the Cavian Fisheries College. Announced. 92 million. Even spending 5 million on Osaka, they're coming back with 92.
We have a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, that 92 million was a decision made 5 years back. The problem with investment of that money was because of ownership issue in Cavian. So the minister is doing a lot of great work, but he shouldn't sort of use that as an announcement that was made by this government. Yeah. That decision was coming for the last 5 years. It was a decision made in the last 5 years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The point I'm trying to make is this announcement was made when we were in Japan with our Prime Minister. Maybe groundwork start long time. You put in 5 million logo na look sabe lo Japan lo expo year long, they are coming back to you with 92 million. That's the point. The next thing. Miblagolo Japan. Prime Minister Blood announced him. Because we took the time to go and spend 5 million to go. For the first time, I met the former Prime Minister, he never talked about Tokua. This Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister, we were the first to visit him, our Prime Minister, and Mem talk also. They are completing a feasibility study into Tokua, with the possibility of them funding the upgrade of Tokua into a major international airport. I saw the NAC plans for Tokua. It's likely that the funding will be greater than 700 million spent for NADZAP. Tokua is a special place belong there. KB staff, body blood staff. This could be over $1 billion could be invested in Tokua. Timing by Yumigo was perfect. The new Prime Minister was just elected. Our Prime Minister was the first to visit him, first head of a foreign government. They've made a commitment to Tokua that I have not seen one Prime Minister make prior to that. So, Mr. Speaker, yes, you can all complain about trips. Suppose you may invest in something also 5 million. We want, by going to Dubai, we may never get you Emirates here. under a service agreement. We may not create job opportunities for our citizens. We may not create significant grant aid, which will pay back that 5 million 100 times over. So I say, Mr. Speaker, it is very important to invest 5 million each time in export, because what it brings is far, far more significant benefits to our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor Bloenga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My questions, without notice, are directed to Minister for Mining. Uncle, and I was going to ask him yet. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, this is a question in relation to Mount Carey project. Mount Carey project has been there for a long time. Different issues that have stopped the progress of that project. But many of us on this floor know that recently, in the last 8 years, this project has been held up because of some personal interest from within Waigani. The small people of Mount Carey want to see this project actually being delivered. So my question is this. Minister, can you please take ownership of this project and try and have it delivered? Because many of our people have passed away trying to see this project being delivered for the small people of Mount Carey and Henga province, and of course the country. So this is a project that is can be realized quickly and can assist the economy. Thank you.
Speaker, thank you, True. Lo question kablo Governor Bloenga. Mr. Speaker, Mount Carey, a very important project. Time become minister, Prime Minister, time I'm writing more KPIs, just like Muglogo, the minister. Then write him, give him Lomi, or some mining minister, and the priority list included the project that Governor mentioned him, Mount Carey. Now, Mount Carey has been on the desk, discussions with government, provincial government, him as governor, local member, and interest of both the two provinces that the project is covering, including Ella and Enga. That project has been on discussions. One, delay the project to this day brief where when I became minister, because I'm staff of KPI Blomi, me asking department was that there was a running court case in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court case was man will stop or list him online law, online will submit him interest to explore him, sim license to explore him, Islam mine to develop him. Naika 3 or 4 companies stop the list. Company where stop number 1, 2, na 3 all go to court. The time go to court or Brusim Moga the mark lo court no go to Supreme Court. Now Supreme Court they make him decision lo rouse him, order him was he got some discrepancies in the way application been awarded law the first applicant. Therefore Supreme Court end him down decision was rouse him, order him that MRA through its process must rouse him number 1, 2 must come up 1, 3 must come up 2, 4 come up 3 in that order. So this case amended down last 2 months ago. Now time this case amended down the Supreme Court, man will lose him court. Lo number 1 go back lo court lo sim sleep rule. Lo toko simikat era lo first decision lo Supreme Court make him. As it stands, the matter is still before the court. The court has not made a decision in respect to the sleep rule, but process that does not affect our process, le MRA, meaning that does not stop MAC, MRA, lo mipla lo continuous la process la award him license. As to this date, myself, the department has not received a court order stopping us from exercising the due process le MRA lo execute him. What has now been a court order for us to move applicants up and deal with the application that has come before MAC. So Governor, respond, 1, it is priority on our list. for government and priority on my list because it's on my KPI projects, so one of the projects I must take off in my 10 years mining minister. And I confirm that I will take ownership of the project, that I have already done so in trying to get the process up and running. What we are waiting for now is MAC, through you, Speaker, Governor, and their respective leaders in Enga and Ella. And the Governor for Ella has also sent me a query in respect to this project as well. So as it stands now, Tupla company want a memory tablo court in regard to the slip roll, but no got court order stopping me to ensure that the process is complete. What I'm waiting for now is Mining Advisory Committee. Law, write him letter come to me as a brief to ensure that whichever one is priority on the list and has financial capacity, good standing, and I'm ready to go. Governor, through you, Mr. Speaker, I will execute under my powers under the Mining Act to ensure that we prioritize and permit this project so it can start. Plenty of the landowners and leaders from Pogara Valley, from Paila, Ella side, they wrote to my department and my ministry confirming that, yes, Planting line waiting this project gone, only die finished, and they want that project to start. So what I will request from the provincial government and the members and the leaders is that allow me as mining minister to execute my responsibilities without any interference. And I will do with the process that is established there so project can start. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member of Luciana Sina Yangomul.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me like putting question blow Miguel Minister blow provincial and local level government. Mr. Speaker, this is a minister, good prime minister. Me saule because me got clean pla heart. By me non up talk same thing. Lo plan the blow minister lo upside, but lo me can talk all same. But Karangi, Mr. Speaker, Karangi stablo side blow department blame. For 7 years, all same line is that even before this minister come inside, all seen down this position. Now all work law play around one time council election. All play around for 7 years. 7 years, you all know got one election. 7 years, you may bring constitutional law. 7 years, all seen down yet. All seen down law chair yet. No got disciplinary action from that topic or down. All this department. First mistake, yeah, broken constitutional law. Minister by Luxaulo, this lana, working samla Luxawe Woko, and by accepting na Larim Taso. All right, number 2, Karangi, more same old line here. Line law minister. Now Tasol all differing. Council election after all issue read. Now, campaign ko namel all get a council of Papua New Guinea, almost plus 1,000. All spending almost plus 1,000 kinana, maybe millions already. Now come close to the goalpost, now same department, all stopping election. Now all differing we go 27 September. M1 can pass in now. All money animal. All council, what council are you? Number you mean mistreating all same. All man all same you mean, yeah? One kind all same, yeah? All leader, yeah? All playing important role through law, outline na, maybe all members are not good. All Facebook government law players. All spending big money, cargo, effort, pain, stress, suffering, law invest law election process. Go namel na, all differing election na. Us, while differing all talk, he got lack of clarity lo nupla all what council all creating an impact but this all existing na boundaries na ballot paper na kind talk all same all working. But Mr. Speaker, those reasons were already known to the administration before law all issue read. M Karangi, yeah? Mila asking minister, how by you may believe in this like an excuse? Especially when this is on a nationwide scale. Now bring him so much background become Lord Council. Now council candidates law outline. Number 2 wrong, yeah? Different midstream and relying on reasons already known to them. Midstream. Now cause him so much damage. And big problem, yeah. By minister addressing this law, no God. All right. Number 3 question. Last question, lo me. Lo 16 September by me celebrating 50th anniversary lo Yumi. Now, me plan need him leadership on council or ward level. You mean need him? You mean don't have deny him? You mean don't have go select him Nupla because you like select him Nupla. This is a process plus select him yet and by center of conflict. Lo select him Nupla team lo administer election lo ward level, LLG level, not district level too. Suppose you me talk all council all staff election so all disqualify. All right, you me put him Nupla team. And now this is like creation lo Nupla team by causing conflict. Also, we need him council back on the ground. The councillors who have been de facto operating from 2017, he come now here. We need them back. Government needs to do something to give them a de facto status, almost come sit down like they have been. It's nothing new. Law you me broken penis, let him law stop. Government, minister, through minister, and must talk for the purposes of rolling out the independent celebrations. Me recognize him. All ward council law come back. De facto council, not in law, but de facto council, continue to play the role they played in the last 7 years. Put in leadership law, independent celebration, and then you can go inside law. Finish him this now you play go Kirabim election will come on 27 September, which is after the independent celebration. We need that leadership. And we got Tintin Law Disla because there's a big vacuum there at the ward level. So I think Senior Bloimi, good Prime Minister, we can give him some clarity now. Please, discipline him or line blow you here, Law Department. You can just tolerate him, this kind of behavior when the damage is nationwide, catastrophic. You must give him some disciplinary action. Papua New Guinea must look him. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me thank the Honourable Member for Sinasina Yangamu for his very important question. It's a question that our nation should be asking, and it's appropriate that I should respond to the issues that have been raised, and our people are advised accordingly. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member's first question relates to disciplinating our officers or staff who have oversight in this important election. I think the issue lies with ability of government. And I cannot discipline officers because officers have worked very, very hard. I can tell you that. In terms of ensuring that everything that is required of conducting an election has been done according to the laws of the nation. Everything comes back to when the writs were issued on the 23rd of April, as I did. At that period of time, everything was progressing according to the plan. But when we looked at it, because of many other important issues that have taken precedent, I think we are all aware of it, particularly the independent celebration activities. Independent celebration activities also comes with financial appropriations, and therefore it interfered with the running of the election. And therefore, as we progress through the exercise, we kind of also found that other things are not ready, and particularly in relation to ballot papers. And I was kind of appalled when I was told through the Minister of Administrative Services, who is in charge of Election Commission, that we didn't have ballot papers, because ballot papers are required to go to polling and subsequent election of our people. And so that was one of the major issues that confronted us, so we had to work very, very hard. And I want to thank our Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister and Minister Masere, my staff as well as the Electoral Commissioner and his staff for trying our very, very best to try to address this issue, to comply with the deadlines that we have given, which has not been the case. And therefore, Electoral Commissioner then made new announcement for new dates so that all the issues that have hindered the progression of election processes can be subsequently addressed within that time period. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the same question was asked by Honourable Member for Abao last week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. And I think Prime Minister has already answered part of that question. And so it is, I want to take this opportunity to apologize to our people of Papua New Guinea, particularly people who are vying for ward membership, ward seats.
We have a point of order. What's your point of order, Member for Abao?
Just to clarify, and rather than the Minister laboring on the same set of questions that I asked, Prime Minister did make a commitment to respond this week. So I sent him all the questions that I asked on the floor of Parliament, and we were expecting either the Prime Minister or the Minister to respond to the same questions that the member for Sinasina Yangumol has asked. So I think that's pending. So if the Minister and Prime Minister can do their work and respond to specifically to these issues which Minister is not responding to. Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that the issue is very similar to what was asked last week, and therefore I am responding to the questions that have been raised by Honourable Member for Senator Yangomo. So the first issue you asked was to discipline, so that's exactly what I'm saying. This issue has come thus far. So much work has already put in place, but because of the important issues that confront the nation, which has subsequently required for us to come up with alternative deadlines. Number two issue that you have raised is where do councillors fit in this discussion? I think it also alluded to the third question that you have raised. As far as the law is concerned, ward members are still in charge. They are still ward members, so are presidents, until when writs are returned. So that process is ongoing. So to answer your question, Mr. Speaker, all our ward members who have been elected in the last term, they're still elected leaders. So are the presidents. And so, coming back to your third question, can they be involved in independence and all that? Yes, they are, and they should be. They're still leaders of the people, and they should be part and parcel of this celebration that we are making. It's their rights, and their contribution is honored to the independence celebration. Mr. Speaker, let me step back and comment on something that is fundamental. Hopefully this week, I'll be making an amendment to Section 34 of the Organic Law. This relates to LFG elections and national elections. What has transpired up until now since 2012 is because of the fact that requirement under that section that talks about LFG election to be conducted when the writs are returned, three months after the writs are returned. And subsequently, this has created so much problem in terms of resource needed to conduct an election, whilst outstanding issues for the national elections are still progressing, and Electoral Commission has been involved in that. And therefore, up until now, LFG elections were not conducted properly. in view of the fact that resources are not available. So amendment of this section will enable 30 months period after national election is conducted, which means that we can have resources, we can plan properly, then we can conduct LOG election so that we don't get into this problem. So if there are issues relating to wards, alignment of wards, LLGs, at least we can plan it properly and then we can conduct the election so that important recognition must be given to a third-tier government, just as we give it to national and provincial government system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You may get supplementary. One of supplementary blue again.
Law and supplement.
Because the question you ask him like supplementary.
You got stop. I think we put yourself point of order.
Now.
All right.
One point of order.
Yes. Thank you, Law Minister. Yet, talk Law Mouse Blow Miet na Papua New Guinea now. Also, all presidents, now World Councillor, only continue law office until return of Rich Blood this election. Na declaration. Law, this is like council elections after commencement of 27 September. So, me amas lo this like clarity na Papua New Guinea now. Now, question. Milai put him also point of order, yeah. Also, department blame he been thinking law suspending elections only in the affected ward councils, but allow him the rest of the wards law continue. The rest of the wards that's not affected by the issues raised by the department. Only been thinking this plan or no God, because there was a possibility that some law this wards no God contest them, and we can continue on the election law. Now only those people, the wards areas where you got problem with them, you suspend the election. This is after. So why not suspending the entire election in Papua New Guinea? I think I need to clarify this too.
Honorable member of Sina yang mule mino point of order, you will ask him, no ask him. So mabino like non ablare minister on charum this blah. You got nupla. Pami look saw again, you got Tribla governor senablo backside, so I'm blah by Masaskim and governor of Western Province. Me give you this time to ask him, you know what talks about.
Thank you, through Speaker. Makim people of Western through lo milo ask him question in what talks about. The question no me and by me directing golo Minister of Law. Mining, na question am related law. Pogara mine. Use Pogara mine am start antablo mountain by me antala Wabek, enga province na. Only put him PPM mine come down of Semlo. Wara lagay na kam Semlo Strickland na kam Semlo Fly River. So time law starting mislanibla. Tok lo nibla Pogara, Mibla Western Province too been involved law, including Mibla inside law, package law, Nibla Pogara agreement. So now me like ask him all questions related to that agreement. I'm used to our story. That time been asking finish. I was time you put in PP Antala Mountain. Antala Mountain wara I'm sleep. It's on a Antala Mountain, so wara I'm back run. But I'm come up the Western Province we happen to stop them. This la PPA blow mine on top move and sit down. So people the Western Province have like big la Bagarap as I speak. Online by me lo obo. Now I'm watching now flood. Wara I'm Karamam school blow. Now Wara Karamam village blow, shopping center blow. Lokata I'm still in Wara because all sediments now silt them now comes past Laabna and creating plenty heavy. For this last, Namda Skim Chavos, Midla by whether Western Province and by including law, the Nibla Pogra deal. So, question Lomia Muslim. Number one, Nibla signing la community development agreement to Pogra mine finish or not. Number two, Muslim. Instead of the agreement, I was signing finish. Hamas by blocking the Western Province. First question, Muslim. Is Western Province included in the agreement? Number two, Hamas by blocking the people of Western Province the agreement. Because me, I Muslim. Only cutting of Western Province in that agreement, or carrying Muslim stop law on the place all called in Bulako. Section 1, Segment 1, Segment 2, na 3, I'm all included. Na Segment 3, I'm stop law. Bulago, after Bulago, na Goram Sem law. Nomad, Lake Marine, na Goram Sem law. Obo, go Sem law. Suki, na go come up law. Fly River. And Mibla is stop law section, Segment 4, 5, 6, na 7, so Mibla, included in the package. So me like Sawas like true or not. Na Savasi true or se Mibla no establish la package. Me like asking Minister Mani la work commitment law including online domin la Western Province. Thank you through and also question them.
Honourable Minister of Mining.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Me take note law question law Governor Law Western. I think I'm follow up question law Governor Enga. I'm asking me last time in regard to CDA as well. Me start on the second question blame I'm talk. Me blo Western staff in said law package blo CDA or Nogat. And the question is straightforward is yes, Western, the riverine people were affected by the Pogara project. Through that project where the riverine want them water maybe ground law western side, and they are captured in some package Lodisla. And those discussions at the commercial term have come up in this. Now, Mr. Blow, what Governor M7 CDA process. Number one question, you may sign in CDA finish or not, Governor through you, Mr. Speaker, me no sign it. It's been cleared by the State Solicitor's Office. Now, those copies, Lodisla, cleared CDA, will be consulted with local leaders from the province, including Governor Bloenga, Governor Blow Western, because of the riverine people, Governor Blow Ella, because law power, Blow program come through law Heights gas, na power line, or line will sleep, Lugotin power line, law supplying power come Blow Pogera, and Western as well, because water am affecting also. Those leaders from those areas will be consulted in the CDA project, including new Pogera, and then the final paper will be brought to Cabinet. As soon as Cabinet approve him, Meplaba go ahead and sign. And I will ensure, Mr. Speaker, through you, that the leaders are consulted so that we don't bring something that you can come to the floor and question him get, but passing the consultation must stop. It's a process of CDA. So, Governor, I can assure you, your people are captured in the CDA process, and I must give it to the leaders of Enga too, to say that we must capture Western people. Sample project I'm online, but no simol and project Blumipla, but Governor and the leaders from the province have been kind enough to say that we must capture our people from the riverine, including all power lines, so that they must benefit, so that everyone has skin in the game, so we protect the project. Project can continue. I need the new program limited. So, Mr. Speaker, through you, Governor, I assure you, CDA has not been signed, and if it is signed, your people will be captured in there, so that you have stake to protect our riverine project and riverine people, and we ensure that Pogara continues. And the leaders on this floor, I assure you that you will be consulted before you may sign off the CDA. Thank you.
Governor Blunoten.
Mr. Speaker, now recognizing our people of Northern Province, I have a few questions I would like to ask to the Acting Minister for Communication. And these questions are in relation to the monetization of social media platforms. Just a little context, Mr. Speaker. Our people are now part of the world, obviously, and we have what we call netizens that operate in this country. These are people who are communicating and using the internet for work, for business, etc. A large number of these people are youth below the age of 25, of which we have 60% in our country. A very large number of these people. And many of them are content creators using social media platforms. Unfortunately, they are not able to benefit from this growing industry that's benefiting many throughout the world. These content creators create amazing content that promotes Papua New Guinea, that can attract tourists and investment, and that can give the world a better picture of this country. We have social media content creators coming from other parts of the world into Papua New Guinea and creating content and benefiting from these activities. But our own cannot do so because of outdated laws or non-existent laws or mechanisms that aren't in place to allow them to monetize their social media content that they've created. So my questions are these, very simple questions. Does the Mara Barroso government have any plans to address these challenges and issues so that it can assist our content creators generate an income and revenue, especially our youth, who form a large part of this demography? Thank you.
Acting Minister of Law Communication, Information.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Nami, so thank you long good question lo Governor Bloimi long Oro, Northern Province. Before me, give him niklik back him, Mr. Naposem custodian belong this la ministry. Yumi got all leaders below Yumi, sati oli sekam long all health issues. Honorable Minister Bloimi long ICT, Honorable Minister Bloimi long Bougainville Affairs, na Honorable Minister Bloimi long Labour, Honorable Keses Sawong, na Honorable Makiba. Me wish him all get a speedy recovery. Na same time too, me kiss him bell long all get the leaders long look out him health Bloimi 11. Important country need him Yumi long walk, but health important. Question long Governor Emi, good question, and let me take this opportunity to answer this in its entirety, because it's important our country and particularly our youths know that this government is ensuring that the platform of social media is not necessarily used for to be out there to discredit or put misinformation or disinformation, as is what is happening today, but also to ensure that we align to and conform to what the populace of the world is leveraging on in the ICT space. So, thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Governor. Thank you for the opportunity to respond to this matter. And I want to assure our youths and those using the social media space that apart from the legislative reforms that we need to be, or that the Department of ICT is working towards enabling that environment, we also need to understand that the volatile space in which social media is used has also imminent threat that not only speaks to our internal challenges in the social media space, but also the external that that imposes on our sovereignty in terms of that that space in which social media platform is used. Mr. Speaker, enabling effective electronic transaction is not the responsibility of one agency alone. It requires a multifaceted, whole-of-government approach involving coordination between Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Police, Ministry of Treasury.
Point of order. Point of order, Honourable Member Luabao.
You, Mr. Speaker, sorry for interfering with the Minister's response, but we've got not much time to left, so can I move that we extend question time because of the time we spend in welcoming the Honourable Prime Minister from New Zealand? And also while all the ministers are in the chamber.
Honourable Member Luabao, maybe think by point of order in relation to question Emolo Beckham, but point of order like ask him to extend him time, and this last suppose one member will ask him, then we can ask him this before extending time, Amilarim. So point of order it should be in relation to his question that is one of them. But me look savvy also and plan remember only like ask him yet. So me like ask him. That's why ask him also that the question time be extended. Who's in favor? Please stand. Stand up. Okay. Thank you. Absolute majority, so him also by. You may extend him question time by another 20 minutes. Honourable Minister, you continue, Lobek him. Just ask him.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Namito, thank you, long Honourable Member, below you, long Abao. Below game opportunity, below you, me, long continue, long ask him all question, one time noga talk save. Also, me talk finish, Mr. Speaker, enabling effective electronic transaction is not the responsibility of one agency alone. It requires a multifaceted, whole-of-government approach involving coordination between Ministry for Justice, Ministry for Police, Ministry for Treasury, and Ministry for ICT. Specifically, 4 critical areas must be addressed, Mr. Speaker: cybersecurity, data governance and protection, cybercrime investigation and enforcement, anti-money laundering, AML, and counterterrorism financing. On the matter of cybersecurity, Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that Papua New Guinea has a national cybersecurity policy framework in place, endorsement by Cabinet in 2021. This framework is not referred to as the national cybersecurity, or is referred to as the National Cybersecurity Policy of 2021. Following this, the Department of ICT established a National Security Center, which currently monitors over 75 government agency networks and systems. In 2024, Cabinet endorsed the National Cybersecurity Strategy, calling for the establishment of an emergency response framework across critical infrastructure sectors such as water, energy, and banking. To operationalize the strategy in December 2024, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry for ICT did direct the National Information Communication Technology Authority to develop a regulatory framework for cybersecurity. I can confirm that drafting instructions have now been completed, and I have instructed the legislation to be brought before Parliament in the September sitting, Mr. Speaker. On the matter of data governance and protection, Mr. Speaker, last year the Department of ICT also facilitated the development and subsequent Cabinet endorsement for National Data Governance and Protection Policy.
We got point of order. Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader, on a point of order,
With due respect to the Honourable Minister, Mr. Speaker, I think the Minister is reading a statement which is prepared, and so I think that he should go straight and answer the question. Thank you.
Honourable Opposition Leader, statement name will back him answer question way, and me answer him yes. So when I think by out of order, so Minister, you answer him, ask him. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I want to point over W.
Honorable Speaker, what of me just like law, put him minister law notice that you, lo mari blue, you extend him, maybe extend him 20 minutes, lo mipla lo work him so I'm working reply, lo him can continue, but kisim mina obligatory time so renew and consume this law 20 minutes, where you allow him mipla law, ask him more question. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deputy Opposition, thank you. For the purpose of time, me just like giving confidence to our leaders and particularly to our youths that are using social media. This government is working to ensure that you do monetize. You by monetizing this space below you long. You can talk inside long platform long Facebook. Now you can monetize him this walk you like make him inside of Facebook or you walk one time inside of Facebook. So in short, we are putting and ensuring that the environment in which our young men and women are using social media is protected. That's important. You have independence to express yourself, but it is within a framework of governance and legal framework that you can monetize your work as a social media creator or an influencer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member Blong, Kagwa Erabe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Lord Luke Savel, Kagwa Erabe. Milakaski Ola Lilu Constant Tasolo, Works Minister. You got three block question. One bill of people block Ogonerabe. Question number one. Men of calling the contractor, but one contractor you work in this la road Bigolo. Kago Kigoriawe. How much money you give finish? Road work stop, walk stop. All operator contractor will out. Come stop walk. Take him long by time. Before 50 years, you may talk cut him free bond. I'm number one. Number two, road Bigolo, quarter to Redita, road Bagamablo, last Urilo Pagia. La road, how much money you give finish? Talk people block, how can I have again, Save? People block, how can I have all dinner, some people corporate one them all. Contractor, not ministers. Talk people block, how can I have also. Number three, Yumi committee finish, talk over council in Bakamap. One time by Yumi, working over council. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Minister Blue Wax.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, through you. May like Splatam to thank you, Lord. Member of Law Kagwe Rave. Everyone plus strong member. I will make a plenty work Law Kagwe Rave. All plenty roads law up. All triple question blue, some law to play speed Greek. All name law or road now, all contractor me no kiss him good. So all the triple asking blue by me. Check him all department below me. Kiss him good through all report. Blood is all contractors now also by me plus around talk na. By me update him good through all report blood is blood. All three all ask him you give him. So by me make him this plan tomorrow. By me answer him you all this blood. Questions blood three question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You may plenty member is up. Why blood talk me one of system to Salam, make him opportunity long. Deputy Speaker will ask him long.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, thank you too much, Lo. You give him time, Lo Milo. Plenty time, Bambi come sit down, Lo, see, Bambi don't ask him questions, so. Good plan, Lo, you give him time, Lo Milo, ask him one question, Lo Mi. Mr. Speaker, question, Lo Mi, Lo, Minister of State Enterprise. Mr. Speaker, ask him, Lo Mi, me ask him, Tasolo, power service, Lo, people, Lo Mi, Lo, Makam. Mipla makam, mipla ground lo, mipla karim. Ogera pylon lo, karim power go down lo. Lay city. Mipla lukim long pla tawa. One time waya tu ron antap. Tasolo light kisi mipla mnogat. Mipla start to takiet. Power go kamab lo leina kambek lo mipla lo makam. Em sawe power sa on lo 1 pla 2 pla day. Nem se go off lo 2 pla moon. Nem ba come again lo 1 na 2 pla 3 pla day. Suppose em come on long 1 week. Em mino se member must stop 3 or 4 pla moon before power come again. Osana minister me asking you tasol. Why na power work lo oki mosem lo mipla lo. Makam na mipla no kisim good power. Suppose you online ni briefing you lig na you sawe lo en you talk sawe lo mina people lo makam. Suppose no God. Enough me asking you now lo flow lo parliament. Enough you find out lo yanti power no talk sawe why power no reliable to mas lo our people lo makam. Ose mi talk pinis ground lo mipla karim power pylon na mipla no kisim good power. So I'm legally asking lo mita solia. Me asking minister lo to clear lo me now people lo me why power reliable to mas lo mipla. And me talk long and I'm true pla talk. 2 pla day na by you wait 2 pla moon. Lo power ba come back. 3 pla day by you must wait 3 pla moon. Na power come back again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister of State Enterprise.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Lord Deputy Speaker, for this important question. Yes, you got a problem long lay, especially antap lo younger go around lo lay online Indian contractors only work lo upgrading more transmission lines. Long tari kam antap iko osem lo yonki or TBA company only upgrading more tribal power pylons na they already completed that job. Currently, we are continuing to encounter difficulties with the Indian contractors, which are funded under the Japanese JICA program. Nuclear CEO of Yumi threatening terminating this contract because of the performance of the Indian contractor. This project is delayed by more than 2 years. Yumi got problem long supervision long PNG power, which we are taking under control. With the employment of the new CEO from New Zealand, we are seeing some improvements now, especially for Ley na Orlando Minister of Law, Makam Valley, this province, Lamori province, very, very important province. We have allocated so much resources and time and money towards fixing these problems that we identify finish. But through some power on and off 2 days and beyond 2 months, no God, we've been able to still provide power. And good luck to talk about MNO Steret. Me, because I have been keeping a personal watch on it myself because of the importance of our city of Ley. So, Emmy.
Point of order, point of order, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, me like talk sa lo minister o minister mino gyamanim yulo tupla day na mi man mi sexy power long ene mi talk lo ene. So mi talk amas plamun em sa stop na they say come back in few days ya mi talk true ya. Osem so mi like afemim talk lo mi because minister talk osem mi no talk true so mi afemim talk lo mi osem em true bla statement mi make em power ya mi et mi film long en mi talk. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going by the briefing that me is our Chimland because, as I said earlier, me personally, because of the numerous complaints people are raising land, me too, me got feeling that me man too. So I don't go to sleep. I make sure that these things are done. So I am responding to the question based on the briefing that I have been getting from PNG Power. So somewhere along the line, someone is misleading us, but me can talk of some. If the people of Ley can get powers on and off, only it's a wait law, 2 months or 3 months, these same power lines come from Yonki all the way down to Ley. So it does not make any sense. So I'm just telling me back into the blame. Me not talk of some David Speaker, German. I'm just making this response based on the briefings I get and because of my
daily involvement in matters to do with the city of Leh. But I will take his complaint into account, and by me got taken now, I'll ask the PNG Power CEO to explain why this is so, and then I'll also ask the PNG Power CEO to meet the Deputy Speaker himself and explain, and we will work out what is really wrong with it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member Lobwabek.
Thank you, Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I think my question, without notice, goes to our good Prime Minister. Before I do, let me give some context to my question. In a statement released last Friday, Mr. Speaker, the Commissioner General of the Internal Revenue Commission revealed a very disturbing trend. Multinational corporations operating in Papua New Guinea's resource sector, Mr. Speaker, particularly in the mining and petroleum sector, are exploiting loopholes and weaknesses in our tax and investment laws to maximize profits while contributing little or nothing to the national coffers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Ramu Nicol, for instance, has extracted rare minerals from our land for almost 20 years without paying a single kina in corporate income tax, thanks to the overlapping tax concessions we as a government have given them. PNG LNG project participants, after already enjoying a 10-year capital recovery period, are now extending this tax holiday by another 5 years, raising serious questions about the effectiveness of our fiscal regimes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, further, the IRC has disclosed in an earlier media release that 5 of the most profitable large-scale mines have not paid a single dividend to shareholders in over a decade, suggesting that creative accounting and profit-sharing tactics are being used to suppress taxable profits. Mr. Speaker, if I'm correct, only recently has Porgera begun paying dividends, and that too only after dividend withholding tax was exempted in the new Porgera agreement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this comes at a time when our extractive resources, which are finite and non-renewable, are being depleted with little long-term national return, Mr. Speaker. Yet individuals closely tied to the original LNG agreements now widely criticized for being overly generous to investors, are once again being appointed to head major negotiations on behalf of the state. These, Mr. Speaker, are traitors. Traitors are being appointed again to these positions, Mr. Speaker, including chairing the negotiating team, the state negotiating team, and the National Oil and Gas Company board members. Mr. Speaker, to add insult to injury, last week the Prime Minister, or the Queen, awarded a medal to a key figure behind the failed Nautilus deep sea mining project, a venture that cost the state almost 300 million and delivered nothing with no proper agreements or due diligence in place, got recognized by the Queen and being recommended by us here in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, in no other country in the world do they honor thieves and traitors. Only in the Christian nation of Papua New Guinea do we honor those people, those kind of people. Mr. Speaker, when the Prime Minister assumed office in 2019, he made bold commitments to reclaim resource sovereignty, to reform resource laws by 2025, and to shift from profit-based taxation to production-sharing agreements. That was the basis of all of us joining him to form the new government there and then. We are now in 2025, yet the reforms have not materialized, and the same group of characters are being recycled in charge of our resources. Questions, Mr. Speaker. My questions to the good Prime Minister: where is the long-promised resource law reform? Can the Prime Minister inform this House and the people of Papua New Guinea why the resource ownership reforms and the shift to production sharing agreements promised for 2025 will be delivered? Number one. Number two, who is really benefiting from our resources, Mr. Speaker? Can the Prime Minister confirm whether the current fiscal regime still allows multinational resource companies to avoid paying taxes through extended capital cost deductions, tax holidays, and creative accounting? Number three, why are the same people back in charge, Mr. Speaker? these people are traitors. Mr. Speaker, these people are the people who side with giant corporations and who sell our resources and our future. Why are they back in charge, Mr. Speaker? The Prime Minister should tell the people of PNG. Number 4, what process was followed in appointing the S&T chair? Can the Prime Minister tell this House whether the position of the chair of the state negotiating team was advertised, what selection criteria was used, and how much public money is being paid for this work? Number 5, where is the due diligence? What background checks of due diligence that the Prime Minister's office undertake before appointing individuals to high-stake roles where the interests of the state must be defended against multinational corporations? Number 6, as the Prime Minister shifted sides, how does the Prime Minister reconcile his 2019 stance on resource nationalism with recent appointments and apparent continuation of investor-friendly tax regimes that deprive PNG of much-needed resources? Mr. Speaker, with that, a particular mention of the PNG LNG project. You know, before me, Blarem was by this year or next year, we will be getting the full proceeds from PNG LNG project. Now we hear that there's another 5-year delay. Now, you know, they're stealing from our future. We have people dying on the streets. We have lack of employment. We hear that, you know, GDP doubled or, you know, the tax revenue doubled by, you know, 100%, and yet there are no jobs. Mr. Speaker, what lessons were learned from Nautilus? Why was the medal awarded to an individual associated with a failed Nautilus Minerals project which cost the country 300 million kina without any return? What message does this send to the citizens or future investors? Do we honor traitors? Number 8, with the same characters involved, are the same team sheets being recycled? Are we looking at the same term sheets? Number 9, what fiscal repair mechanisms are in place? What concrete fiscal and legal measures is the government taking to plug tax avoidance and ensure that resource companies actually contribute to the national economy? Number 10, Mr. Speaker, when will resource exploitation end without returns? Now you may musem Ramu Nicol too. I'm talking like making nuclear extensions or I'm needing another, you know, tax concession, tax exemption for another 5 years. Please, you mean no longer. This is our country. We need to be patriotic and we need to tell these people to start paying. They're extracting resources and those resources will never be renewed, Mr. Speaker. One time, Mr. Thank you now. Copy of questions that we can give him the Prime Minister support. Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me like pass them through. Talk thank you, Law Member Bloabek, Law Racing. This series of very important questions that underpins the economic security of our country. Mr. Speaker, me like also before me talk thank you on both sides of the house na you yet. Law you may give him time long New Zealand Prime Minister law coming to our people's house. New Zealand has been an important partner to our country. It's good you may give him recognition of all awesome houseman, na house Mary, na house speaking limit. This is our people's house. It's important when a high chief from Nadla country come. You may pay him kind respect. You know him tasol, but the country will look him, but looks out, so you may respect him all. And we all in the business of constructing the next 50 years going forward. Mr. Speaker, I may like also talk Sawe. Lord House also United Nations Secretary General will be with us for 4 days in September. September 3 and come. So we'll ask him this house again, but you may let him also first time ever United Nations Secretary General come. He will be our guest to our house again along September 4. So in the face of 58, only come early because only in the stubborn team of September 16, the Secretary General, based on our invitation, wished he could stay with us on 16th of September. Unfortunately, it's close up to the UN session, so he would come early and be with us unprecedentedly for himself 4 days in our country. So I just want to inform our members of Parliament and appreciate the hospitality this morning. Mr. Speaker, a question belong Member Blowabek and me very good, pertinent question belong Yumi Olkeda. Pass them through me like give him belly seal. I think he's number 8 question or number 7 question. Let me talk whether me sift him away from my mantra in 2019, Milagi Valley Seal Ogra line, that goalpost has not been shifted. This Tok Tok Law 2019 law sends him law and it's not yet. James Marape, as a person, I stand on this, and as my party, we stand on this. Before me come up, remember, my first contest, Lotari Pori, law 2002, talk of me and me talk, me stand up, fight long oil, gold, and gas resource. That Papa Grand must kiss him good, provincial governments must kiss him good, country must kiss him good, investor too must kiss him good. And I want to give assurance to you, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for Wabek, to all our members of parliament, and to our citizens, our country, and our investors, that conversation and public policy in my DNA still remains firm. 2025 is the deadline we set for resource law shift. Our two petroleum and mining minister, as well as our resource sector ministers, are working in a manner in which we do not offer our investors fair return on investment, as well as our people getting their fair stake. It must be equitable benefit sharing. And I want to also inform this House, I think in the interest of time, we like to summarize this question, if you can give me in writing, let me go through and reply, but in summary, all projects where you meet in our harvesting or operation in our country was secured under project development agreements, before. Something that our country is also known for as an investment destination is that we don't break contracts, we don't change the goalposts in between. We don't change the goalposts in between. When the leases expire, then we enter into strong, fair, hard negotiation, as we did in Pogra. But SML 1 that was signed in 1989 expired in 2019. Then we entered into hard negotiation. We entered into hard negotiation, we failed the lease, or they applied for lease renewal. If my memory is not wrong, and I'm speaking from memory, July 29, 2017, they filed a SML renewal application based on the same term sheets, 5% long province na Papa Ground, 95% of all in as far as equity is concerned. Royalty, of course, it's governed, I beg your pardon, tax is governed by law, so they ask us for a 30% tax and royalty, again, at 2%. The three main entitlements really for all resource project extraction is royalty, equity, and taxes. Mila give him comfort email and to our investors. This government, like the past governments before me, we will not be breaking any agreements that is running its course. But once the agreement closes, then the country is entitled to negotiate for a better or give the projects to a new investor who can give us better. Pogra project is a reflection on this government's commitment to getting back more, take back more for our country. Pogra today, Mr. Speaker, the state negotiating team, and I want to ask all of us that the state negotiating team, one of his questions on the selection of the state negotiating team. We scan who's available in our country and who can fight for the best work based on government. Remember, they operate based on government directions. If government give more clear policy directions, they go out to war or negotiation rather based on the principal policy directions of government. My government since 2019, our policy direction has been always win above 55% for our country. Always win above 55% for our country. So far in the work of changing the law that is taking its time as we have to consult the industry and all stakeholders, and 2025, our 50th year, as we enter will be the time in which we make these changes before our 51st. The investor community knows that we are in the business of securing above 55%. And that has been clear to all of them, and I make it no secret. You win some, I win some. Unfortunately, we cannot change what's happening in Lihir. There's a 1997 agreement that is running its course. Unfortunately, we cannot change Ramonikol, 1997 agreement that is running its course. But I want our leaders also not to be too critical of past leadership. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or even PNG LNG when it started, we were still not yet a pronounced investment destination. I want our country also to know the same investment dollar can be shifted elsewhere. Right in our region, Indonesia is an oil and gold and gas and mineral producing nation. In our region, Australia is a gas and mineral producing country, as well as others around us. In the global pool of sourcing for foreign direct investment, those areas that we are competing with, as well as elsewhere on planet Earth. And we want to give them a healthy, competitive regime, but at the same time without compromising our return on investment. I want to say, up to today, the investment community clearly understands what we're doing. I want to tell all of you that S&T that we're criticizing in 2019 was with me in a room. Treasurer was in that room. Governor Enga was in that room. When I told Mr. Bristow, Barrick, you sit on 49, I sit on 51% side of equity. Deal or no deal, and I walked out of the room. If it is you at 49 and I'm at 51, we will negotiate this. If it is not, I'm sorry, no negotiation. I walked out of the negotiating room with my entire S&T. S&T takes cue from government policy, and as far as government policy is concerned, under this S&T, we've told them, get 55% total take, and I want to clarify, 55% doesn't just to equity. Equity is one stream, royalty is one stream, tax is one stream. We've asked the entire envelope harvested. At minimum, we must get at 55%. This government, right now in the absence and yet to deliver a production sharing regime that has our own characteristics, not a production sharing regime with, that is a Middle East production sharing regime or elsewhere. We want to have a production sharing regime that has PNG characteristics, that give respect to indigenous people who own land, give respect to provincial government where the resources are, and give respect to the rest of the country through the national government for national equalization benefit distribution. I want to give assurance to our country. We have not abandoned the goalposts we have set. At some of these areas where it's operating in silent, they're all governed by the existing fiscal regimes and project agreements that are running. When they expire, Lear will expire in 2035 rather. I hope whoever is Prime Minister in 2035 will not have the sleepless night I'm having today, the mining minister, because by then we would have changed the law, and the law then governs the way we are securing our projects, and as far as our project envelope is concerned. But to IRC is fully entitled. And work with IRC, the taxman is fully entitled to check all the agreements we have. And if there is any loopholes there in those agreements, and if there is any way where we are supposed to collect but we're not collecting, it is not out of line when IRC probes and asks questions. As our country's taxmen, they're fully entitled to check all the governing laws we have today. Ramu Nicol to operate in the same manner, as I said earlier. I won't be too critical of past leaders who were there. 1997, global financial crisis. Lest we forget. And the Prime Minister then secured these two projects. Whilst we may not collect enough in as far as tax is concerned, to my satisfaction, I cannot complain. There's some employment being generated, landowners getting some money. I'm looking forward to the time these projects' time have lapsed. But I also want to say that at government policy insistence, these projects are showing some signs of working with the agreement, but optimizing return to us through employment or through other aspects like our downstream processing policy that we've imparted upon. And Ramu Nicol, for instance, is now working with government to look into a downstream processing of nickel in our country to value add for us. So in summary, Mr. Speaker, before project here, you make it seem below, like PNG LNG, 48%. Rambun, I lead all this play at 30% below Canada. Now, people walk along kissing about 55%. PNG LNG, there was a question raised on PNG LNG. The last 3 years alone will pay 11 billion kina corporate tax. Lord, this play year only talk one blah agreement, starting of PNG LNG agreement, and talk long extended depreciation. All using this blah long, talk some, I'm giving all investors Sambla Banis long Takis. Now I see got right long check him whether I'm all talk through Gaman. Misa I walk my RC okay. Me plan to stop him my RC. You got right to check him, you check him. What this agreement entails. But again, PNG LNC too, we also speak with context. The agreement was signed in 2009 at the backdrop of 2008 global financial crisis. ExxonMobil came into our country. This one project right now, the aggregate contribution to our country in terms of revenue, cash revenue, not the employment and the spin-offs, but a cash that come back through equity, through taxes, through royalty, and all the associated income to our country has gone past 30 billion kina since then. We thank Somali government for making sure this project got off the ground. It is now a business to kick off other projects. I want to say, give assurance to the member, any project my team is negotiating is about 55%. PASCA that we signed off is at 70%, a small condensate project in Gulf. Pinyang that we signed off is at 63%. 4.4 TCF gas that will be synchronized, and we will give back 10% to the Western provincial people when we go and engage with them in as far as the negotiation of Pinyang was concerned. And so any project that we are negotiating in the absence of legislative changes, we are pushing hard to negotiate above 55%. These Papua New Guineans who are working for state instruments, if they step out of line, as we are checking on what's happening in Kumul Petroleum, we will deal with them and stock up the boards with new credible Papuans again. And we are working this. If there are any ways for improvement, I look forward to be assisted. But I want to give full assurance to the country, the goalpost of 2019, the take back PNG goalpost has not been shifted. When the laws come in by the petroleum minister and the mining minister, we want all of your support. There will be a clarified, simplified, all entitlements of the country, whether tax, equity, or royalty, platted inside, in total picture, giving us a win about 55% of any resource project we harvest in our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, extended time, long question time now, kami abros in finish time long. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that some of the standing orders be suspended as would prevent order of the day number 97, government business called on forthwith.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clark.
Order of the day number 97, Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 22B, I now commence the first required opportunity for debate.
Make your speech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The members of this honorable House, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce the organic law on integrity of political parties and candidates, amendment law. The bill to amend the organic law on the integrity of political parties and candidates, which is the principal act, a principal law. Mr. Speaker, this proposed amendment will increase the retirement age and the compulsory retirement age for the register of political parties from 55 years and 60 years respectively to 72 retirement age and 75 years compulsory retirement age. This is consistent with the policy decision by the government to standardize the retirement age and the compulsory retirement age of constitutional office holders to 72 years retirement age and the 75 compulsory retirement age. This is consistent with the retirement age of other constitutional office holders such as chief ombudsman, judges, and ICAC commissioners. Mr. Speaker, similar to other proposed amendments, I now will be introducing to standardize the retirement age and the compulsory retirement age of constitutional office holders. This is an effort to address the depleting experience, skills, and the huge institutional knowledge gap that is found in most of our institutions today. Senior officials who still have adequate years to contribute to strengthening our institutions and contributing to service delivery are not able to do so due to them reaching the retirement age. Further, the proposed amendment to increase the retirement age allows continuity and the transfer of knowledge and skills to the younger generation of leaders. Mr. Speaker, with that, I commend the organic law on integrity of political parties amendment law to this honorable House.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the proposed law be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Second reading, a law to alter the organic law on the integrity of political parties and candidates and for related purposes.
Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I ask a leave of this Parliament to move the proposed law without amendments forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the proposed law without amendments to be agreed to.
The question is that the proposed law without amendment be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, as this is the first vote, the Constitution requires that the vote must be recorded and that in order for the proposal to pass, it must also be supported by a two-thirds absolute majority of 79 members. Honourable members, the Parliament will now vote. Clerk, please ring the bells. Basil. Basil. Tenants, close the doors. The question is that the proposed law without amendments be now agreed to. Those in favor, please stand. Would those against please stand? Honourable members, in accordance with Standing Order 222E, the results of the vote, 80, the ayes 80, and the noes 0. Honourable members, in accordance with Standing Order 222E, I now order the third reading, which is the second required opportunity for debate, and the second vote be adjourned for at least 2 months this day, as required by the Constitution. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until tomorrow at 10 a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, Parliament is now adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.